right, today's going to be kind of a fun one. I like this idea that you brought up because if you're anything like our clients, people are busy, hungry, and trying to make things complicated and trying to make time consuming meals every single day. And so we wanted to break down, give you our super stupid simple go to recipes, kind of like one or two of our favorites for like snacks, breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. Just make things super simple and straightforward.
And these are meals that we actually eat, all right? And on repeat, we tend to eat a lot of the same meals, but they're quick, high protein, they taste good. I look forward to them. They don't require hours on end or like 100 ingredients or anything like that. You don't have to be a Michelin chef. You don't even really have to know what you're doing. It's pretty simple and enjoyable, and you can definitely hit all your goals and get to where you want to be with these meals.
Yeah, for me personally, I don't have time to cook shit during the week. So I try to save as much time as I can with food, prepping everything. All my meals are just as simple as humanly possible, minimal effort, minimal time. But more importantly, I feel like they help you hit your goals without the mental stress or gymnastics around the what should I eat. I feel like that sort of stress derails so many people, especially when you're just going nonstop, and then you're hungry, and like, oh, like I need to go grab something. So yeah, if you want meals that are realistic, repeatable, and actually enjoyable, I feel like this episode's gonna be good for you.
I take notes for sure.
Yes. But also you have on here a shark teeth story. I'm intrigued. I want to hear what's up.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about a vacation that we have coming up, and one of my favorite things that I didn't realize it was a favorite thing until I did this a few years ago. But I was in Point Vedra a few years ago, and they had told us people that were working there. They're like, "Oh, you gotta look for shark's teeth." I was like, "Shark's teeth? You can find shark's teeth on the beach?" I never knew that. So of course, I go out there and I'm looking everywhere. I can't find any shark's teeth. There are no shark teeth in. I'm like, whatever. And we meet this other family, and it's actually these two little kids, and I can't. The boy's like 7 or 8 or something like that, and he keeps finding these shark's teeth, and he brings them up and he shows them like, I want to find shark's teeth. Why can't I find a shark's teeth? So he tells me the tip, right? There's this like little tip to what to look for and like that, and like within minutes, all of a sudden, like I start finding shark teeth. It's like the entire trip, like I was like a little kid. I was out there like in the water and the shallow end, and I'm just digging in the sand. I'm like I found another one, and so we all enjoyed it, and we collected a bunch of them, and so we're going to Amelia Island, which is apparently another great place for shark teeth. So super excited and stoked about looking for and searching for shark's teeth. I found tons of smaller ones. My what I'd love to do is find like some big mega shark tooth, which would be the coolest
Yeah.
thing ever. If I do, I'll get on here. I'll show you guys. But have you ever like searched or hunted for shark's teeth before?
No, but I've heard some stories because obviously living here in Florida, that's a thing, and people have told me about that. I didn't realize how common they are, especially just there being so many. I'm like, first of all, where are all of them coming from? Like, that's a little concerning that I don't know, it's just there's a lot. How are there that many just hanging around, you know?
Yeah, when you start finding them, there are a lot of them. You'd be amazed at how many you can find. But again, like most of them are super tiny. And I don't, I'm no scientist. I haven't really done a lot of research in it, so I don't know why. But apparently, I guess when they kind of like dredge up the bottom of the ocean and they'll like refill like the beach is, the sand and stuff like that. From locals, what I've been told is that's when you'll find some like really big ones. Like right, they pull it right
Oh.
from the bottom of the ocean. They put it on, and I've seen some of them. They were like, check this one that I found. I'm like, that thing's gigantic. So you never know when we'll do that. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild, and nature is super fun. That and things like seeing like the turtle nests, the sea turtles. And I've been to beaches before that have, we've just seen tons of sea turtles. And that's the other thing I want to see. I haven't been able to see. I want to walk by a sea turtle nest where they're actually like popping out. And you
Yeah.
get to like watch them walk into the ocean and things like that. So I love nature. So it's fun to be around things like that.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. One of my friends actually, when he was playing volleyball, he stepped on a shark tooth,
Oh,
just
really?
casually. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there you go. Found another one.
Yeah, but I don't know why looking for that kind of stuff is so fun. I feel like it just brings out our inner child because for me, there's a beach here. At least it was probably almost a year ago when I moved here, but there was a bunch of sand dollars, like thousands. Like it was like unlike anything I've ever seen. Like there's a girl diving down and she'd come up with like just stacks of them. I was like, oh my God. So I got in there. I was like, I need to check this out. And there's just so many. So it's really cool to find stuff like that. I was in there forever, just like swimming around, like digging for them. I don't know, just something about it. It's super fun and special.
Yeah, sand dollars are cool. And I think that's what it is. It just brings out the kid in you, and it's just I don't know. It's just fun. I mean, I do. I act like a little kid, like, oh, I found one. You're
Yeah.
like diving in, and so yeah, the beaches are the best.
Yeah, for sure. I know every time I go to that one, I'm always looking for them. I feel like it was some weird, I don't even know where they come from, but there was so many, like every time I put my foot down, there was one there. And then I found some live ones too, which I don't know if you've ever like I grabbed one and I was like kind of freaked out at first because they were like kind of fuzzy and so it threw me off a little bit, but it was cool to see.
Yeah, yeah. I've been to a beach where there's a lot of sand dollars, and yeah, they're pretty awesome because they're unique. I mean, you don't most beaches do not have them, so that's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of nature too, I have a new routine now that I'm in my new place and closer to beaches, St. Pete, all and just like in a good area. So I've been going on sunrise walks again, and it's been freaking immaculate.
Oh, I love sunrise walks.
Yeah, it's the best. It's been the highlight of my day. Just I love getting up early for one, so this forces me to get up a little bit earlier, knock out some work beforehand, and then I go and walk by the park and just like I'll just sit and pray and then watch the sunrise come up, and it's just so perfect. I feel like it's such a great way to set the tone for the day. Then I'll just go hit the gym and do all my other stuff. But I feel like it just gives me that space for me because kind of like I said in the last episode is I just going nonstop, don't have any second to breathe. So I feel like this is my intentional space to just chill and be and not stress about anything and set the tone for my day and then just go grind.
Yeah, what a perfect place and time to just be still.
Yep.
All right, so let's continue our client spotlight, which has been so much fun. This week we're highlighting Josh. Josh, what a superstar! So this guy started with our journey together, and he was rocking it. He was doing so well, making so many changes for the better, and then he finds out that he has to have quadruple bypass surgery, which obviously is just I mean, just hit us hard, and hit him and his family, and so. But his attitude and mindset through it all has just been so impressive. I mean, resilient is just a great word to use just every day. And we'd message back and forth, and everything from his end was just so positive and optimistic. And I mean, from just early like post-op steps, like literally like counting, like, okay, I can take 100 steps today type of thing. And he's consistently knocking out like 6,000 plus steps now. And I remember we had almost had to slow him down. He's like, "Hey, I think I can get like extra 1,000 today." And they're like, "All right, well, let's pull this back a little bit." But, and obviously we had to scale back and really adjust his workouts. And he was following that plan. And then he has to travel a lot for work. Even I think, when he went back to work, his coworkers were like, "You're back already? Like, this is amazing." And I mean, his progress, both just like physically and mentally, has just been amazing. And basically he went from like survival mode to just like structure and strength. And he's had so much going on, major moves, job change stuff, like family responsibilities. He just continues to carve out and create a routine. And he, getting up early now to do rehab and workouts and locking in like a really awesome 40 plus gram protein breakfast routines, and finding, having to find different gyms to work out at, and but also staying within, doctor recommended limitations, and prioritizing mobility, stress management. I mean, just everything he's doing has just been, I'm just in awe. I'm just so impressed at how hard he's worked, and mental, emotional wins, and leaning into discomfort, not avoiding it, and naming stressors and being able to choose to respond to it and not just react to it, and give himself grace as well, but also staying accountable for things, and showing up. I mean, that's been one of the biggest things. He's been showing up every day, even on the hard days, even in chaotic days, and just been consistent in just a time of the year, just been a lot of, unpredictability. We're talking about consistency all the time. His life has been anything but, and he's just inspired so many people along the way. And it's really cool. He shares his story with other people, and people will respond to like, man, you are such an inspiration, Josh. And he's been an inspiration to me. I know he's been an inspiration to you. And I mean, his grit, leadership, I mean, it's just makes a ripple effect like far beyond anything we could probably even imagine.
Honestly, like, you going through all that gave me goosebumps just because, yeah, his journey's been incredible. He is such a light in both of our lives. And yeah, it's just been like such an honor to be able to see his journey too, especially just going through all this. Obviously, that type of surgery is not something we ever anticipated, but I see, like, we were kind of joking about it after the fact. It's like we were training for this. We didn't know we were training for this, but like that's what we were training for, and it just shows how much like his consistency and discipline has played off with that, and just incredible recovery, and just continue to show up despite everything that's going on in his life. And I know that was one of the biggest things too when I initially spoke with him is he's like, oh, I don't think I can commit to it now. Like I just have so much going on, and he was living in two different spots, like super stressful job. And so he's like, no, I want to be able to give it to 100%. Like no, like we need to start now. And he's like, okay. Like I remember it was a big moment for him to like kind of take that step and just commit to it, even if like things weren't going to be perfect and aligned. But just look how far we've come since that start date, and just all the amazing progress he's been able to stack. And it's just been so incredible to see his consistency and his mindset around everything, just despite whatever life throws at him.
Yeah, and a side note, his humor throughout all this has been spectacular. I
Yeah.
mean, his humor is amazing. He's such a funny guy.
Yeah, like I said, he really is such a light in our lives. It's amazing.
All right, well, let's start talking about recipes. Let's talk about what we eat and how we make it. Our last episode, we're talking about simplicity, and we carry that on into the meals we make as well. So I'm going to start off by just talking about some spices that we have. And pretty much, I mean, I will add a few different things depending on the meals. Like if I'm going to make something like for Taco Tuesday, I'm going to add cumin to my meat, things like that. But for the most part, you add salt, pepper, garlic, paprika to almost any kind of animal protein, it's going to taste amazing.
Hmm. Yeah, I basically use all the same spices on everything. It makes it super easy. Yeah, basically, I always said salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. Like, you really don't need much more than that. Like you said, you can spice it up a little bit with some fun stuff here and there, depending on what you're making. Even I got recently, Trader Joe's has a lot of good spices too, just a lot of good blends. And there's a good salmon one that I got. They have the everything but the bagel one for putting on eggs or whatnot. But there's also just an everyday seasoning that they have, and like literally is what it says. It's like put it on everything. It's great. It's perfect. It checks all the boxes. So simple stuff like that too is great.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you an example real quick. Let's say you're like, I don't know what to eat. Like, get some ground beef. And we're not even talking measure. We don't measure anything, right? We just got to dump it in there. Some salt, pepper, garlic, paprika. Boom, you're done. Mix it up, heat it up, and you got a meal in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, in terms of like, I think we're the same in terms, we don't really follow recipes. I mean, sometimes, so when I bake, I have to, and I think that's why I don't like baking as much. Cause if you throw off a little bit of flour or something like that, or, whatever, it totally messes the whole thing up.
Mm-hmm.
But when I like to call it chefing it up, when you're chefing it up with other things, then it's more fun. You just kind of throw it together. You kind of play with how you want to do it, and you can you eat what you enjoy and how it fits, and so not following recipes and almost kind of creating your own little recipe. But again, make it simple. We talked about this last. Build your plate around a lean animal protein, complement it with fruit and or vegetables, and you've got a fantastic meal, and it's going to help you hit your goals.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I hate following recipes. I any chance I can, I do not want to follow them. Like you said, with baking, I feel like it's a little bit different. But yeah, I just throw it together. I feel like following a lot of times following recipes, at least for me, creates a lot more just mental fatigue, I guess. I don't know the best way to describe it, but it creates a roadblock there between me wanting to go and do it. Because like I said, I don't really have a lot of time to go and prep meals and do some elaborate recipe or anything like that. I just want to throw stuff together, and having some sort of recipe that I need to follow. There's just a really big mental block there. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way too. It just makes it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. And a lot of times, keep in mind, these recipes are not built for you. Like people are going to have different goals as far as how many calories you need, what the protein is. And I feel like a lot of recipes out there are on the lower end of protein unless, you're following some specific high protein thing. So you don't need to follow all the things. Like just it's great to take recipes, kind of take some pieces from it, or just look at the general gist of it and how they're doing it, and then mold it to what's going to fit for you or what you enjoy.
Yes. Okay, so tell us something about breakfast. Like, tell us a recipe that you is a go-to for you.
Yeah, my go-to is just eggs and sourdough. Doesn't get much simpler than
Boom.
that.
Doesn't get much simpler. So, how do you have your eggs?
I'll switch it up here and there. Usually scrambled though, and again, I'll just throw on salt, pepper, sometimes everything but the bagel seasoning and that everyday seasoning from Trader Joe's. Scramble them up, sourdough, a little bit of grass-fed butter. Boom, so good, so easy. Takes like 5 minutes or less to make. So yeah, that's been my go-to.
Yeah, and if you have, let's say you want just tons of protein in the morning and you want to have some eggs, have a couple whole eggs, add some egg whites to that. It just jacks up the protein without many calories. Add some fruit to it. I mean, so easy to do, so quick, and it just sets the stage for a fantastic day.
Yeah, or
Already
even
start
just
off.
throw some ground beef in there, or some sort of other protein, like just any eggs with anything, basically. Great combo.
Well, I'm going to talk about it later, but make extras, dinner.
Mhm.
And like you said, the ground beef, you make ground beef the night before, it's already made. Heat it up real quick, pop it in there, and you're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, and another breakfast I wanted to mention too, just because I feel like breakfast is a meal where a lot of people are on the go. They don't really have time to like sit and cook something. So I haven't tried this recipe personally, but I've seen a lot of people do it. I suggested it to a lot of clients because it's so simple. Is prep your breakfast. Literally, you can take your meal prep tubs, put in some eggs, some egg whites if you want extra protein, put in whatever meat source you want, sausage, turkey bacon, ground beef, whatever. Throw in some chopped veggies, throw in some cheese if you want, and literally bake it in the oven and then put that in the fridge. Like you got breakfast meal prepped, like a little egg bake that you can take with you on the go. Super easy. It takes less than 5 minutes prep time.
Super easy, and they're delicious.
Hmm.
And actually, one of the I don't know if it's their best selling or anything like that, but one of the best items at Starbucks you can get are those little egg bites. I think is what they call egg bites, and
Hmm.
that's exactly what you're talking about for like a fraction of the cost, and it's probably going to taste way better because you're making it and you have it right there and ready to go.
Hmm. Yeah, so easy. How about
And
you? What do you do for breakfast?
well, we always promote whole foods, but I love having my shake. Or recently, I'll have a creamy in the morning. But for me, it's the reason why I like it is because it does fill me up. But also, I'm able to start the day off with 50 to 60 grams of protein. Super easy to do. If I'm in a rush or I can take it with me. It's just super convenient, super easy. I get tons of protein. I don't have to think much at all, and I love the taste, and that's probably half of it. I really enjoy it. I look forward to it. Like, I can't wait to have my shake in the morning.
Yeah.
But super easy.
Yeah, love it. For lunches, what do you got on deck for that?
Okay, so lunch, I love to have like a tuna salad. And I recently kind of changed it. I can have a chicken salad too. I'm going to tell you what I do to it. So, um, start off by so when I was younger, I would make like the traditional tuna salad with like mayo and sweet relish and stuff like that. And then I thought about it. I said, I want to have something a little bit better, like optimize this a little bit. So I started adding avocado to it instead of mayo. And I would add a little tahini. Is that how you say it? Tahini
Hmm.
seasoning. And I loved it. It tasted so good. But to get enough creaminess to it, I'd have to use a lot of avocado. And I was looking, I was like, man, let's just adding. I mean, it's great fat for you, but it was adding a little more calories than I wanted sometimes. And so I was like, what else could I add to it that would be lower in calories that could make it creamy? I was like, what about cottage cheese? And so I tried this, and you can do it with chicken as well. So I'll add tuna. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'll add avocado first, and I'll measure out that, and I'll measure out some cottage cheese, and I'll smash that all, mix that all together, and then I'll add my tuna, and and then the tahini. Sometimes I'll add some vegetables like tomato, but that's usually just the base right there. Mix it all, add a little salt to it, It is fantastic. It's so creamy. The cottage cheese you don't even taste. It just tastes like just a really rich tuna salad. And then I'll add like a big bowl of fruit with it. And I am getting, it's so nutritious. I'm getting tons of protein. The fruit is so beneficial, and I feel great after it. Super
Yeah.
simple to do. I can do it the night before. I can make it within 5 minutes. Either one, and I can take it almost anywhere. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, sounds amazing. So quick and easy. Lots of protein. Just tastes good. That's where
Checks
it's
all those
at.
boxes.
Yep. Yeah, for me, I'm sure everyone knows I've been on the Burger Bowl kick. I can't get enough of them. They're just so good. But basically with that, I'm roasting up some potatoes. I'll just pop them in the oven. I'll cook some beef on the stove for my meal prep, and then I'll usually saute some mushrooms and onion and any other veggies that I want. Throw that all together, and then usually day of when I'm heating it up, I'll like chop up some cilantro, or I'll have pre-chopped cilantro and tomatoes and pickles and just throw that on top. Maybe some cheese if I'm feeling it, and then good to go. And again, you can spice it up with whatever other toppings you want. If you want to do avocado, like Greek yogurt as like a sour cream, or even throw some eggs on there. Like there's so much you can spice up with that, but that's been my go-to. Or really any bowl of any sort. Like I feel like there's infinite combos. Just have some sort of base, whether that's sweet potato, regular potato, rice, have a meat source, chicken, fish, beef, whatever. Throw in some veggies, some sort of topping or sauce, whatever you want, and it's so easy. Like stir fry bowl, or even just like some sort of like Asian style bowl or a burrito bowl. Like combos are infinite, and it's so easy to throw together.
Yeah, I love a good burger bowl. I mean, burgers are one of my favorite foods. So when I can make it like where it fits within my plan a lot better, I love it. But I think your idea, it would be fun to do, even if you're not a big fan of eating the same thing every day, one week where you do like, okay, I'm going to have a different bowl every day for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And you could even do it around, themes like we've talked about before. I like to do like Italian, night on Monday night, and Tuesday I do Taco Tuesday. You could do like a Taco Tuesday bowl. You could do like an Italian bowl, and I'm gonna tell you about some of that in a second. And tuna bowl. You could do a burger bowl one day, and make it fun. Like you said, it's really, you don't have to overthink it. You get your animal protein and add those spices that we talked about, and then add some vegetables or some fruit with it. Figure out what goes best with that, and you're done, and you're
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah, it takes me so little time to prep because I'm doing basically everything at the same time. Like potatoes are cooking in the oven, stuff's going on the stove, so easy. And yeah, I love the combinations too. It's like if you get sick of one certain combo, just switch up the meat, switch up the
Mhm.
base, switch up the veggies. Like there's infinite combinations that you can do it just ongoing.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about dinner. So I mentioned, to make it fun, have kind of like a theme night, like taco. I said Mondays I'll do like Italian night. Tuesdays I'll do like Taco Tuesday, breakfast Wednesday. But again, these are all something that I do in a very simple way, And then also, side note, make enough for leftovers the next day, and you have your lunch.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to plan that out. So let me give you an example of like Italian Monday. I do love cottage cheese, so I add that a lot of things. But talking about your burger bowl, if you want to make it kind of Italian style, ground beef, cottage cheese, and just you don't even have to have like 50 grams. Is plenty of like some low sugar spaghetti sauce, and mix that all up, and it tastes like a lasagna bowl.
Mm.
It's so good. It's so easy. This is like three ingredients outside the spices, and it is. I mean. So fantastic. So fantastic. Taste. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, I know you're big on Taco Tuesday. I feel like tacos are one of the simplest meals to make. I was on a fish taco kick for the longest time too, because all you gotta do is have the protein prepped if you want to prep it ahead of time, or just cook it there. And then basically whatever, if you want veggies and a lot of stuff you can just like throw on as you're making it, like chop up some stuff, throw it on there, throw cheese on there, whatever it is. It literally just gotta heat up the tortilla, heat up the meat, put it on there, put together your toppings. Takes 5 minutes to put together on the spot. So easy, and lots of combinations with that too.
A lot of combinations. And if you want to do like a Taco Tuesday bowl, you know, choose your meat, whether that be some kind of, seafood or ground beef or chicken, and make some homemade guacamole,
Mm.
and again, that's a lot of fun to do. Super simple. If to make a really simple guacamole, you have avocados, right? Add a little cilantro to it, add some tomato to it, add some salt. If you like some jalapenos, add that to it. You can have fun with it. Last night I added some mango to mine. Just have fun with it. Smash it up together, mix it in with your meat. Done. You got a Taco Tuesday bowl.
Bomb. For
Well,
dinners, another one I like doing too is just almost like you can do it in a sheet pan type dinner too, but just like roasted veggies, potatoes. I've been baking sweet potatoes. I'll throw those in the oven, throw cauliflower, broccoli in the oven as well. So all that's just cooking at once. I don't have to do any like prep basically. I just like throw it on the pan, put it in the oven, and then I'll just cook up some chicken or whatever other meat I want and throw that all together. And it's so delicious.
so good. So simple.
Yeah. Just throw everything in the oven. Easy. Or if you have a crock pot, throw everything in the crock pot. Do a crock pot meal like that. Easy.
All right, so for snacks, the last episode we talked about simple versus easy. I know it's easy. You can go down a snack aisle, the grocery store and grab some really quickly. And they're easy, but they're most of them are worthless, right? So what we want to find is something that's easy but also high in protein. That's going to be the key here, right? So Oikos makes those fantastic Oikos Pro yogurts. You grab one, 15 to 20 grams, depends on which one you get. I like the 20-gram ones. 20 grams of protein. It tastes delicious. Whatever they did to mix that up, perfect. Hard-boiled eggs, right? I mean, what else do you like for go-to snacks?
Usually some sort of Greek yogurt bowl, kind of like you were mentioning with the oikos, or I'll just like put together some like regular Greek yogurt and some fruit. It tastes like dessert. It really is so good. You can either do like already sweetened yogurt or just sweeten it with a little bit of honey too, or throw on some cacao nibs, or you can spice it up a little bit more if you want, but really just Greek yogurt and fruit. Such a simple one. Or even overnight oats. It's not one that I have done recently, but it's one that I'm recommending to clients too, just because it's so easy to prep and easy if you're on the go. And like some of my clients don't have time to sit and eat something, so they want something they can take with them. You could throw some protein in there, throw some chia seeds for some extra fiber, throw in some fruit, any other fun toppings that you want. Taste delicious, high protein, easy to grab and go.
Cottage cheese is another great one. So a lot of great options, and they're super easy to do, and a lot of protein.
Yeah. And so what about dessert, the fun one?
Desserts are always fun, right? So for me, what I love, there's a brand called Hue Chocolate. I love their chocolates, and really a little bit goes a long way for me. I've done it before where I've just grabbed a bunch of the little gems, or I'll break off some of the bars and just eat it. But one time I was kind of playing with measuring it, and I basically what I want to do is like, how little could I eat and still get fulfillment out of it? And it's amazing like how little you can eat, and I mean we can get like a really small amount of calories and still kind of satisfy that sweet tooth after your meal.
Yeah, I love their chocolate. It's so good. I've also been there's basically a million different recipes out there for high protein, low calorie desserts for basically any dessert that you want. So you can go and search up recipes for that. I've seen some for like cottage cheese cookie dough. I'm sure that's up your alley with the cottage cheese. There's lots of stuff out there. We actually just posted our other coach, Kate. She posted a chocolate lava cake recipe that looked really good and super simple. Just heat it up in 5 minutes. My go-to dessert is the creamy. Everyone knows. So yeah, I've been on the creamy train for sure, and so that's been my go-to little like midday ice cream or evening ice cream. That's high protein, low calorie. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I usually like to have a creamy for a snack. That's a good to go to there.
Yeah.
One thing I do, and this there's no protein in it. So if you're like, dude, I'm tired of you talking about protein stuff. Sometimes what I'll do is if I'm getting I have a little craving of some kind of like I love cinnamon rolls. What I'll do is I'll get like a little like a naan bread round, and I'll take that and I'll heat it. I'll pop it in the toaster, and I'll just put a little bit of cinnamon on it, just a little bit of like monk fruit sweetener, and just enough, and I'll kind of roll it up, and it tastes just like a little cinnamon roll. So it tastes really good. It's just enough to kind of satisfy it.
Love it. Yeah, there's tons of good desserts out there. But that's just some of the stuff that I go to.
And that's the list. That's it. It's like, don't overcomplicate things. Don't go for recipes that have 20 different items that you don't have anyway. You have to go to the store and buy all this stuff. It's just stuff that makes sense. It's going to fit within your plan, and it's going to help you become the person you want to become.
Yeah, so if anything stood out, give it a shot this week. Let us know how it goes. We want to see your guys' recipes. Share it with us. Let us know what you found. Just make it a part of your go-to rotation, because the more simple and automatic your meals are, the easier it is to stay consistent long term. And if you want the full breakdown of these meals and even more high protein, easy, actually good meals, we've got a full recipe book packed with all of that. So I'll link that in the show notes and you can download that for free if you want to follow along with that. But other than that, we appreciate you guys listening. Share this episode with someone who's stuck in the eating healthy is hard mindset and show them it really doesn't have to be. And we will catch you guys next week.